The AI gold rush is definitely on.
Mm,
Feels like everyone's racing to stake their claim, doesn't it?
it really
But what
does.
if the path, the one most people are on, leads not to gold, but, well, nowhere fast? What if you're carefully building this fragile Jenga tower,
Mm.
the kind that's just going to collapse instead of a solid skyscraper?
Oh, we've seen that exact thing. It's what our sources are calling the AI agent trap. It's this low margin, really high stress cycle that just burns people out. But here's the good news, right? Our sources show there's a clear way out. There's actually a blueprint for something, well, much more solid and rewarding.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a close look at some really fascinating research. It really challenges the common way people think about building AI solutions. It's titled, "The AI Agent Business Model is a Trap. Here's What Works."
Yeah, and it highlights this really critical difference. Are you just building these quick one-off AI agents, like individual automated tasks? Or are you aiming higher, building something more integrated, more fundamental, what
Yep.
they're calling an AI operating system?
Hmm. So our mission today is to really explore this shift. We'll look at why that common approach, the agent approach, often fails. We'll dig into what these operating systems actually are, how you might build one both strategically and technically, and probably the most important part for many listeners, how they can actually unlock sustainable recurring revenue for your business.
Right. It's about getting off that exhausting freelancer's hamster wheel and stepping onto a path, a blueprint that could lead to maybe $10 Ks plus a month consistently. That's a total game changer. Buy it. Okay, let's dive in.
Okay, so let's really unpack this AI agent trap that our sources describe. They paint a pretty clear picture, and honestly, it's a bit sobering looking at what's happening out there.
Yeah, exactly. They call it the freelancer's hamster wheel. And it fits, right? You're just constantly running. You pour weeks, maybe months into building these complex AI agents for a client. You land a one-time gig, maybe get a few $1,000. Client seems happy for a second, and then poof, gone, and you're right back to scrambling for the next project. It's exhausting.
It is, and that cycle is just brutal. Our sources point to four specific fatal flaws that make this whole model feel like it's built on quicksand.
Yeah.
Just fundamentally shaky for long-term success.
Okay, so first up, it's becoming a commodity. Basic AI agents, those sort of standard automated tasks using AI, everyone and their brother is building them now, which naturally just drives the prices down, down, down. It's that classic race to the bottom. Nobody wins that.
Exactly, which leads right into the second big problem. It's nearly always a one-time transaction. You do the work, you deliver, you get paid once, then you're back at zero, hunting again. Without that predictable income, that recurring revenue, it's just incredibly hard to build something truly sustainable, isn't it?
No doubt. Then there's number 3, what the sources call complexity addiction. I mean, I'll admit, I've kind of fallen into this trap myself sometimes. You build these workflows that look super impressive, all these moving parts, but really, they function like some crazy Rube Goldberg machine. Spaghetti workflows, they call them. Overly complicated, often inefficient. But the real insight is, usually, a simpler, more direct automation. That often delivers more consistent value. And it's way more robust, less likely to break, avoids that over-engineering trap.
That's so true. And the biggest flaw, number 4, maybe the most fundamental, it solves the wrong problem. It focuses on selling a tool, that specific AI agent, instead of delivering a core, lasting business solution. Right, so if we cut through all the hype around these individual agents, what's the real root issue with just selling those kinds of one-off things?
It really boils down to being a low-value one-time sale. It just doesn't deliver that deep, long-term business impact that really changes things for a client. Okay, so if that's the trap, what's the escape hatch? The sources bring in this idea of an AI operating system, BEAT. Sounds kind of big, doesn't it? Almost futuristic, like something out of Star Trek, maybe?
It does sound a bit grand, but it's actually very practical when you break it down. Think of it more like an AI automation power cube. That's a term they use. It's not just one single agent doing one task. It's a combination, 4 integrated parts all working together smoothly. And the crucial part is it's designed to solve a massive recurring business problem, not just automate a little task here or there.
A power cube. Okay, I like that analogy. Makes you picture something powerful, integrated, self-contained. So what are these 4 components then? What makes up this system?
Okay, component A is the brain. These are your sophisticated AI models, the parts that actually analyze information, transform data, do the heavy lifting of processing. That's the intelligence core.
Got it. Makes sense. And then the nervous system, component B, what's its job?
That's the automation layer. They mention tools like N8N, which, for listeners who don't know, is a really flexible, low-code platform for connecting apps and automating workflows. So this layer acts like the central coordinator. It connects everything, passes data between all the different systems, and basically orchestrates the entire flow. It makes sure everything talks to each other.
Okay. And the memory, component C, that's for storing data, right? Like using Supabase or something similar, keeping track of user insights, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Supabase provides that robust, stable database. You need persistent storage, a place to remember user interactions, data points, progress. It's absolutely key.
Mm.
And finally, component D is the body. This is the user-facing part, the application layer. A friendly front-end interface may be built with a tool like Bolt.new, which lets you build web apps quickly.
Wow. Okay, picture that. The brain, the nervous system, the memory, the body, all working together totally seamlessly. It really is like stacking intelligent Lego blocks, isn't it? Data and logic combined to build something a business just can't do without. Whoa. I mean, imagine scaling that kind of integrated system, handling like a billion queries a day. That's just a whole different universe of impact compared to a single agent.
That's precisely the goal.
Right.
Creating something so deeply embedded in a business's core operations that they literally cannot live without it. It becomes fundamental to how they succeed. That's where you find that sustainable, predictable, recurring revenue stream.
So just to be crystal clear then, how is this Power Cube idea fundamentally different from just selling a standalone AI agent?
It's an integrated, multi-part system solving a core, ongoing business need, not just a single, isolated task automation.
Okay, this next part, for me, this is where it gets really practical, where the rubber hits the road. Our sources argue really strongly that success isn't just about what you build, it's about who you build it for. They emphasize this strategic framework that starts with really zeroing in on your ideal target customer.
Right. This is step one, choose your target. And they have these goldmine criteria. The advice is pretty blunt. Be a whale hunter. Stop chasing the small fish who just don't have the budget.
Mm-hmm. And they list 5 key criteria for finding that perfect customer. First, and maybe most obviously, they have to have money. It sounds basic, but it's often just as hard to sell a $10,000 solution as a $1,000 one, so you might as well aim high. What they're really saying is you're not just looking for any client. You need businesses with a clear, urgent problem, yes, but also the resources and, crucially, the mindset to invest in a proper long-term fix, not just a cheap patch. Yeah, stop selling to broke businesses. It's literally a quote from the material. And it makes perfect sense. Second criterion. They have to value their time immensely, more than money, often. These are typically successful business owners, but they're drowning, overwhelmed, more cash than hours, basically.
Third, they need to be easy to find. You should pick a niche where your potential customers gather, like specific online communities, industry groups, maybe certain types of events. Don't try to hunt in scattered, hard-to-reach markets.
Fourth, focus on businesses with high margins. Think agencies, consulting firms, maybe high-end local services like specialized contractors or medical practices. They understand the value of something that boosts their existing profitability, and they actually have the budget to pay for that value.
And the fifth one, they call it the ultimate cheat code.
Huh.
Target a growing market. Think about it. If you own just 10% of a market that doubles every year, your business grows almost automatically. You're riding a wave.
Okay, but finding them isn't the whole story, right? The sources then move to step 2, validate customer resonance. And they stress this is absolutely vital. So many people skip this.
They really do. You see builders hiding away for months, coding in secret, then they launch and crickets. Nobody actually wants it.
Yeah.
So our sources suggest this really clever technique, the magic wand method.
Yeah, this is great. You find maybe 10 people who fit your ideal target profile, right? From step 1. Then you offer to work with them for free, just for a short time. The goal is to get real testimonials, gather honest feedback, and then you ask the magic question. Look, if I could wave a magic wand and solve just one of the 20 problems you're dealing with, the single one that keeps you tossing and turning at night, which problem would that be?
And their answer, that's your golden nugget. It forces them to cut through the noise and pinpoint the single most valuable, most urgent pain point they have. This lets you rigorously check if there's real demand before you commit to building the supply. It's a huge de-risking step.
So why is validating that demand up front just so incredibly critical before you even write a line of code?
It stops you from wasting months, maybe years, building something nobody actually wants to buy. Plain and simple.
Okay, to make this whole AI operating system idea less abstract, The sources give us a really solid case study, the LAPS dashboard. It's designed to tackle a super common, really painful problem for service-based businesses, converting leads effectively.
Exactly. Most service businesses suffer from this leaky sales funnel. They spend good money, sometimes a lot of money, generating leads, but then potential customers just drop off at every stage from initial contact to actually becoming a paying client. That's where this LAPS framework fits in.
Right. LAPS, leads, appointments, presentations, sales, that's the standard flow. But the Moneyball insight here, as they call it, that's the really interesting part.
They argue that the place with the most leverage, almost always, is improving the conversion rate specifically from a lead to an appointment. Think about a typical funnel. Maybe you get 100 leads and that eventually results in, say, 3 sales down the line.
Right. But if you use an AI-optimized system focused just on boosting that lead to appointment rate, you might double it. Suddenly, those same 100 leads, they turn into 6 sales. You haven't spent a single extra dollar on getting more leads. Just by improving that one specific conversion point, you've potentially doubled the business's revenue. That is huge.
It really is significant, and the proposed solution is pretty clever. Replace those boring static contact us forms or maybe those downloadable PDF lead magnets that nobody reads. Replace them with an interactive personalized assessment dashboard.
Ah, okay. So instead of just passively collecting info, this thing actively engages the user. It gives them immediate value like a personalized action plan based on their answers. It pushes them towards taking the next step with a clear call to action properly to book that appointment. And crucially, it scales infinitely. Build it once, serve potentially thousands of customers.
Precisely. It turns that passive, easily ignored interaction into something dynamic, a problem-solving experience that feels tailored just for them.
So what is it about the LAPS dashboard that makes it so effective at fixing that leaky funnel problem?
It delivers immediate, personalized value, which engages users deeply and drives them directly towards booking appointments. All right, now for the how-to. Our sources don't just talk theory. They actually lay out the technical bones, the architecture. They call it the assembly manual for your first power cube.
Huh. I love it. And it's like they're assembling the Avengers of tech tools, each playing a specific part. Bolt.new is Iron Man handles the front end, letting you build web apps just by describing them in natural language. Super cool. NAN, that workflow automation tool, is Nick Fury, the master orchestrator, pulling the strings behind the scenes, managing all the back-end automation, making sure all the systems communicate.
Supabase is Captain America, the strong, stable, reliable foundation. That's your database, holding all the persistent data securely. And OpenAI, well, that's got to be Hulk, right? The raw brute force intelligence, providing that incredible power for analysis, personalization, making sense of the inputs.
That's a pretty awesome lineup. And the workflow they map out sounds really clean, actually. User signs up on the Bolt front end. That triggers a webhook over to N8N. N8N sends the info to OpenAI for the analysis part. OpenAI sends results back. N8N stores them in Supabase. Bolt pulls from Supabase to display the results to the user. And then N8N can trigger automated email follow-ups based on those results. It's a really neat, cohesive loop.
It is cohesive. And the material breaks down the actual build process into clear phases, almost like assembling IKEA furniture, but way more powerful, step by step.
Okay, phase 1 is the nervous system. That's setting up the N8N workflow. Using templates where possible, configuring the webhooks to catch data from Bolt, adding specialized AI nodes for different kinds of analysis, connecting to Supabase, setting up the email sequences. That's the plumbing.
Then phase 2, the body. Building the actual web application using Bolt. And this is where that super prompt idea comes in again, which sounds like a massive time saver.
Yeah.
Instead of building UI elements one by one, you apparently give Bolt one big comprehensive prompt describing the whole app, its function, layout, goals, and the AI just builds a functional structure for you in minutes. That sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah, total game changer for speed. Okay, phase 3, the memory. Getting Supabase ready, configuring the database, setting up the tables to store user assessments, handling user login and authentication, the data backbone. And phase 4, the brains. This is defining the AI processing logic itself.
And here's a crucial point they make. This isn't about building one giant, super complex AI agent that tries to do everything. Instead, it's about using multiple, simpler, specialized AI models. Maybe one focuses just on business analysis, another on financial implications, a third on strategic recommendations. Each has a narrow, specific job.
Ah, okay, so it's like maybe 90% standardized structure and content, but then that crucial 10% is personalized by these focused AI models. And that makes so much sense because Honestly, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes, where you give an AI the same prompt later and the results get kind of weird or less accurate. So breaking it down into these smaller, specialized AI jobs sounds way more reliable, more predictable output.
Exactly. It really maximizes the impact while ensuring scalable, consistent delivery. It makes the whole system far more robust and predictable over the long haul.
Okay, so how exactly does using multiple focused AI models improve reliability compared to just one big, complex AI agent?
Each model has a simpler, specific task, which reduces overall complexity and makes its output much more predictable and consistent. Okay, so once you've built that functional standard model, your first AI operating system, the sources then suggest ways to upgrade it. Think of it like adding premium features to a car, making it a high-performance machine that justifies a higher price point and delivers even more value.
Right, like adding dynamic and interactive elements. Imagine the dashboard updating scores in real time as a user answers questions. Or maybe embedding personalized video messages directly into the dashboard, tailored based on their specific inputs. That's pretty slick, right? Really elevates the whole experience.
Definitely. Then they talk about user experience optimization. Things like progressive disclosure, revealing information bit by bit, keeping the user engaged and curious rather than overwhelming them up front. Maybe adding gamification elements, progress bars, achievement badges to encourage people to complete the assessment, and of course, mobile optimization. That's just table stakes these days.
Absolutely non-negotiable. And finally, they suggest building in smart conversion mechanics, using subtle scarcity or urgency cues like countdown timers for special offers, or embedding powerful social proof like short video testimonials or success stories from similar clients right there within the dashboard experience itself. Little nudges to drive action.
And all this leads to the big question, why this prints money? The analogy they use is powerful. It's not like being a house flipper, doing a quick project, selling it, moving on. It's like being a commercial real estate developer. You build a valuable asset once your AI operating system, and then you collect recurring rent from multiple tenants, your clients.
That's it, exactly. You deliver way higher value to each client. You get predictable recurring revenue, which is the holy grail for any business. And crucially, it's scalable delivery. You can onboard more clients without linearly increasing your own workload or costs. You position yourself as the premium, indispensable solution in your niche.
And what about keeping those clients long-term? Retention. They introduce this idea of the sticky building. Your AI operating system becomes so deeply woven into the client's daily workflow, their processes, their data. It's like their virtual office building.
Yeah.
They simply can't imagine operating without it.
Yeah, the moving costs, the pain and expense of trying to switch to something else become incredibly high. They're locked in, but in a good way. Plus, you keep adding value. You keep upgrading the building, adding new features, improving performance, maybe leveraging network effects as more clients use it. It gets better and better over time.
It creates this really powerful lock-in, yes. But it's a lock-in based on genuine, ever-increasing value, not just contractual obligation.
So boiling it down, when we talk actual dollars and cents, what's the single biggest difference in revenue generation between the old AI agent model and this AI operating system model?
AI operating systems are built to generate predictable, recurring revenue from many clients over long periods, unlike the one-off payments from isolated agent projects. Sponsor. So let's pull this all together. What does this really mean for you listening right now?
The big idea, I think, is a really profound shift, a fundamental change in how we should approach building AI solutions for businesses. Absolutely. The core message is loud and clear. Stop selling those one-off AI agents. They trap you on that exhausting freelancer's hamster wheel. They're getting commoditized fast, they provide only temporary value, and ultimately they solve the wrong problem, both for the client's long-term success and for your own business's sustainability.
Instead, the path forward, according to this research, is to build AI operating systems. These integrated power cubes combining AI models, automation, databases, user interfaces, all meticulously designed to solve one huge recurring business problem for a very specific high-value type of client.
Right. And it requires that strategic thinking up front, targeting the right clients, rigorously validating the problem using techniques like Magic Wand, and then leveraging powerful, often no-code or low-code tools like Bolt.new, and Supabase to build efficiently. It's all geared towards creating massive, scalable value that really moves the needle for businesses.
And that scalable value, as we've discussed, is what translates directly into predictable, recurring revenue for the builder. Often the target is $10,000 a month or more. And you build these sticky client relationships because your solution becomes truly indispensable to their daily operations.
Yeah, but the sources are also really clear. This isn't some kind of get-rich-quick thing. It definitely isn't easy. It demands that you learn the tech, develop real business acumen, become obsessed with understanding your customers' deepest pains, and just stick with it. Persistence is key.
True. But for those who are willing to, pay that price of admission, as they put it, the potential rewards are really substantial. It's not just about the recurring revenue or the scalable growth. It's about building deep integrated partnerships with clients where you're delivering lasting transformative impact.
And the sources suggest, maybe optimistically, but maybe not, that your first $10,000 month could be just one well-designed, well-executed system away. It really feels like a call to action. Time to stop just building little tools and start solving fundamental business problems at scale.
The AI operating system revolution, it seems, has begun. The only real question left is, will you be leading it or watching it happen from the sidelines?
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Really fascinating stuff. Until next time, keep exploring. Out to your row music.